It's Wednesday, August 4th. We are back in the studio talking about Superman 2, finally getting around to adding to our DCU rewatch. We got The Giggler and back again, PC Mike. This is Mostly Superheroes. Hello and welcome to Mostly Superheroes, a weekly pursuit for the world's best stories with an emphasis on live action superhero stuff. I'm your host, Logan, back here in the studio once again, St. Louis, Missouri, from the basement. You've seen me and the Giggler a whole bunch recently. Folks, I'm really happy to welcome this guy back. You know him. It's PC Mike.
What an introduction. That's good.
Missed you, man.
I missed you guys too.
Like it's weird having that seat empty.
You need a buffer probably between you two because you guys are so focused. You guys are so pretty much, I don't want to say alike.
I'm excited to see like what you're going to say.
You guys
where's he going with this?
You guys are pretty much in line with your views of different things.
Yes.
And I'm a little bit of an outlier every once in a while. So maybe I need to just be your buffer every once in a while.
Well, we do end up just kind of like staring into each other's eyes, nerding out.
Like, that was really good. It was really good. How good was that? It was so good.
We just talk about that for an hour.
And yeah, I think you're right. And you also have said before that that's why we get the guests and the fans intertwined, because otherwise the three of us are just going to kind of, we do this podcast for 2, 3, 4 more years. I think our ratings might start like meshing a little bit.
So we terrified like when the Batman comes out and it's like pretty solid, and me and Andy are like, well, that's a 3.9. And Logan's like, you guys talked me into it. It's a 3.8.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was at a 2.7, but you guys really convinced me.
What movie did we do last time where it kind of convinced you to bump 2 times ago? Was it just regular Superman?
It happens like more than you think, and that's why I like having kind of like, don't read the reviews on the internet. Yep. Don't go see what you think of a movie. Just like watch it, write down your rating, and then bring it to the show, because it's interesting how what other people perceive in things really can affect your opinion.
It does.
It's interesting. Well, Mike, welcome back, man.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm excited to be here, and my plan is to not miss anymore. Life happens.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Things happened, and it sucks what real life sucks. Sometimes.
You're welcome to share. We got our listeners listen, man.
We had a family member pass. My dad passed.
Yeah. And
I hate to use that old saying, he's in a better place, but he was battling cancer, so he is in a better place. But he loves me doing my own thing and being independent, and we had a really great last couple months when we found out, and I'm in a really good place with it. You have some ups and you have some downs.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not trade the time that I have with him for any other time. And I'm lucky I got that time. Some people don't get that time. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful to be back here. I'm thankful to kind of get back to a little normalcy. Get back to doing things I enjoy, like nerding out and talking about superhero shit. Yeah. So, but it's good to be back. It's good to see 2 good friends who reached out to me as well. But hopefully, please know I don't want to miss again. So,
you're looking at, well, hey man, jeez. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. And I see you over there, and I knew your dad personally.
Yeah.
And I did want to share. I didn't know if we would talk about it. It's one of those things where it's like always your prerogative.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think it's, and I just want to say thank you for sharing.
No.
But in terms of your dad, man, your dad actually taught me. He was one of the first people that taught me to like your own music. Like if you like music that you like, it's okay. Like you were growing up. I remember me and you sitting at the computer in the basement, and you showed me the Black Crowes, who you've seen already a couple times this year.
I've seen them once. I've seen them 9 times total.
You're going back to see them again.
Back in Denver,
where we just were, Andy. But I remember that was because I would listen to music in high school, and I got made fun of all the time for stuff I'd listen to, and I'd be like, okay, well, I'll just listen to the popular stuff. But you and your dad were the ones that were always like, this is the stuff I like. And I was like, well, Mike doesn't like all the stuff people were talking about in high school. No. Totally different. But yeah, man, definitely going to be missed. And
Yeah,
again,
many stories, probably none that we can
Too
say
many.
on air.
yeah, right.
But,
Just a guy who caused laughter everywhere he went.
yeah, that's a great way to put it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've talked a lot
No, it's
the
okay.
last couple days or last couple weeks, but the stories. I mean, you can just talk stories.
Yeah.
And stories and stories, and some like, oh, I probably shouldn't tell you this. I'm like, well, who am I going to tell now?
Yeah.
That you told me. And my mom's sitting there and she's just shaking her head, but we're getting through, and you know, life has a crazy way of throwing stuff at you, and how people react is what life's all about, and we'll move on. We'll be better for it. And we have the memories and the pictures and the stories and the lessons. So that's what I'm thankful for.
Well, you're a badass again for sharing it with us and for sharing with the group. And again, I didn't know if we talked about it, but I'm glad that we did. And that goes for you, Andy. If you know, we're a family here, and you guys, I see you guys every single week. We're all close friends, and we talk a lot in between these shows that people have no idea about.
A stupid group chat.
It's gotten ridiculous at this point.
And it goes over multiple platforms. It's not text. It goes like to Instagram, and then there'll be a Snapchat.
Snapchat. We got the Snapchat group.
Like,
That's life now, man.
Are we
It's tough to keep everything in line. But
Well, Giggler, give the spotlight over to Mike. How you been? How was your week? How was your weekend? How you been doing?
all good. I just want to say, Mike always provides like his nuggets of positivity, but he just threw us like a whole buffet of positivity right there. So thank you for that.
Some life lessons, man. Well, how about this? Let's kick this episode off. Episode 32, season 2. We got a jam-packed one for you today. And as always, we're going to open up with this week, actually, some new fans.
Fan mail.
A reminder to call us at the studio phone. Leave us a message. Shoot us a text. 754-CALL-LOG. That's 754-225-5564. But our fan this week actually comes from the internet, Facebook. We got a new guy. He actually DM'd us like the Mostly Superheroes page on Facebook. You can go do that too. It's this easy to send us a message. His name's Steven C. And all he said was, let's talk about the new Flash movie starring Michael Keaton as Batman. So, of course, we've been talking about this all year, but we hadn't really brought it to the forefront in a while. Just give this as like a status check. We don't need to dive in deep because this movie doesn't come out until November 4th, 2022. So we're still 14 months, 15 months away from this thing. However, I have been seeing, not because I'm looking for it, I do not like spoilers. I don't like seeing set stuff, like set pictures. I don't like seeing outfits. I don't like hearing about when toys come out. That being said, have you guys been seeing anything lately that's caught your eye that you would want to talk about? Like Ben Affleck's suit a little bit?
I've tried not to even look at it.
A little bit of Michael
same.
Keaton stuff that has been in photos?
With a little bit of gray/white hair.
And maybe something about a Batmobile?
Yeah, just the sheer mention of
I'm keeping
Michael
it vague.
Keaton
Keeping it
Batman, like, just gets my heart going.
Right here. He's looking you in the eye the
I
whole
know.
episode.
He is.
Yeah. Wow.
You're just looking right over my shoulder, right into
Yeah, exactly.
cardboard cutout Michael Keaton Batman.
I wasn't
the whole
actually
episode.
looking you in the eyes. It's always just me and Michael.
Which one?
That Michael.
Okay.
But, I mean,
Um,
I got 2 eyes, so.
Yeah, there you go.
I've heard some spoilers on this thing too about who the villain might be. Have you guys heard things about that? I'm not going to say
No.
these things. I'm just kind of feeling
I have
you.
not.
I'm looking you guys in the eye.
No,
seeing,
I don't
like,
think I have. I mean, I know. It's just crazy. Like, it's just the algorithm. You see so many things online that you don't even want to see, but not even things that you follow. Like, just because I follow so many superhero related things, it's like, you should watch this page.
Yeah,
Like,
your Twitter.
Twitter keeps like going by like topics, and it's like you like follow a lot of accounts that are about this, and
Mhm.
it just like throws stuff that I don't even want to. It's like tweets that have like 3 likes. They're not even not even like normally
just the
it's
right
like big
hashtag
things.
or something.
Yeah, it's like big things that are like popular tweets that you see that are out in the wild, but like it's just like bringing things in my attention that I'm like, why did I even need to see this?
Yeah, so you're trying to avoid it like the plague as well. I'm the same way. So here's one thing that I saw that isn't really spoilery that I thought was kind of exciting. I think you put this in the rumor bucket that the Snyder Cut, Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I think is the official title of that, which is just
Whatever.
that's not gonna. I mean, that's not a great title for like long time.
No,
You're gonna
they
call
just need to throw away the other movie, honestly.
yeah.
Or
Well,
keep it there to be like, hey, you want to see how much better this movie is
and
than
that's
the other one?
that's the rumor actually is that it's going to be recognized in the DC EU moving forward. That was a rumor. That was like a one-off rumor I'd heard.
I hope. That's the only thing in my head that can save it. I mean, Suicide Squad could be a great movie if it follows up and then comes out to this. This is a great movie. Like I've heard speculation like this is going to be like a Infinity War level like
Suicide Squad
movie.
is?
No, this
The Flash.
The Flash.
Yes.
Just with
I think Suicide Squad right now has a 99 on Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah.
It's just been rocking all week around that 98, 99, 100.
That would be like the highest superhero movie ever besides like The Dark Knight, right?
That's a really
Or
good question.
Avengers?
We're going to keep that in mind because, yeah, it's this week, big release. I know a lot of you thought I was seeing it last week. We'll talk about that in the coming up portion of today's episode. Yeah, man, if they can move forward with this Snyderverse that we've now all realized in this, honestly, this movie I've been thinking about rewatching lately is the Justice League movie. Been having like that itch to like just put it on again. I've only watched it the one time, straight through, like at your house, Andy.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about that moving forward, this movie just becomes a lot more exciting to me, just because like that's the Batman that you saw. You know Batfleck's in this. And that's the Barry Allen that you're going to see again.
And he's good at this.
Ezra Miller?
I don't think he's a good person.
Because he pushed down that one girl.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
Can't
kind of
do
weird.
that.
It was like a fan or something.
How do people get away with? I feel like people get canceled for just like
an old tweet, like a
yeah,
20-year-old
yeah,
tweet.
like
Well, I think there was circumstantial, and we don't even know like a lot of.
Yeah.
There was a video.
Yeah.
The video wasn't even like him outright pushing anybody. It looked like more like two people, like almost fighting over something, and then like the video ends, and you're like, well, okay, what was that really?
yeah.
But either way, he is a hell of a Barry Allen
I thought he was he was the highlight of the original Justice League, I thought, by far.
by far, and then killed it in the Snyder Cut.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
we're still excited. Got a ways to go. On November 4th, 2022, The Flash. Stephen C., thanks for bringing up a topic that we hadn't
For
talked
sure.
about in a while. New fan right there, and that's how easy it is to get featured. You can even join us on Facebook in the Mostly Superhero Squad. It's where you get featured, exclusive content, stuff early, and then just a lot of fun people sharing what they're watching. And Scott in there just blowing up the feed with articles on all the stuff we talk about.
Scott is my news now.
Yeah, he keeps us. He shares something that you're like, yeah, I was wondering about that.
Mhm.
And you can be just like Scott. Definitely, I made him like you can assign people in the Mostly Superhero Squad certain special like privileges and stuff. I think I gave Scott like visual storyteller mode, so he gets to like have a little badge by his name, and you can do that too.
He needs to look like the biggest Weeblo scout of all time with like just badges for all the stuff.
All the stuff he knows. Go check it out, mostlysuperheroes.com. All the links are there. And with that, let's talk about some news.
News and rumors.
News is fun today. Just a couple things. You can put this in I don't know if you put this in the happy, sad, or just the WTF category. This comes at us from, I believe, Screen Rant. Yes, Matt Morrison over there. Just 3 days ago. You've heard about this. It's been ongoing for about a week. By the time you listen to this, probably going on about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Disney is being sued by Scarlett Johansson over the release of her movie. I call it her movie because she's the main actor in Black Widow. Okay, so what exactly happened? The controversy began on July 29th when Black Widow Scarlett Johansson filed a lawsuit against Disney regarding the long-delayed movie being released simultaneously on the Disney Plus streaming service. And that was paired with the theatrical release. So the dispute is, basically, she's saying, you guaranteed me an amount of money based on a theatrical only release. And this is why she sued them. And in this article, we actually have a quote here from some folks at Disney who responded to Scarlett Johansson. And this is where it's been turned up a notch in terms of, I heard about this at first, and my initial reaction was, okay, Scarlett Johansson probably just sued over like one little line in her contract, right? You know, it's just like, oh, this should have come out on this day. People are probably blowing this out of proportion. All right, well, this is what Disney had to say back to Scarlett. They say no merit whatsoever, first of all, and that the statement also called Johansson's lawsuit sad and distressing. You know who that sounds like? In its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. So they're making it as if, you know, it's like, wow, Scarlett Johansson doesn't even care about coronavirus. You know, it's just like kind of like this, I don't know what you call it. Just feels a little like, oh, you're going to come after us? We're going to blow you up. I haven't really talked to you guys about this since it's been going on. I haven't even seen you, PC Mike. Let's start with you. Have you heard about this? What are your thoughts on this? Any feelings about this little dispute between these parties?
I legit see both sides. but Scarlett Johansson cannot. I don't think she can be this mad about literally a pandemic when they still put all the Disney power behind it. They gave it the best opportunity to succeed, I feel, and it's been blowing up on Disney Plus Premier Access.
Huge.
And they get all that money, so I don't know. Maybe they can make a negotiation. They don't have to cut anybody else out.
You would think that even Disney Plus money would have to go to certain parties.
Yeah.
If she doesn't get any of that, then that's BS.
Yeah.
I agree. Because
Right.
that's like
That
taking place of theater tickets
That should
in my
still
head.
be counted for the box office.
When
it should
they
not be
take-
two separate things.
When they take $30 that's in my head, that's 3 movie tickets.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
So-
that is the whole ordeal. According to this article here, it was Johansson's it was Johansson's contention that the release was an act of bad faith on the part of Disney, given that the contract for the movie based her final salary upon the box office receipts of the film.
So
And
I think Hollywood need to change the language of what box office is.
exactly.
It should be the Premier Access for that first month.
Yeah.
And people that go to the theaters. They
It's-
need to change that. Maybe her lawsuit will set forward a new precedent for other actors and actresses to get ahead, which I think is great.
Yeah, because Hollywood Reporter, Collider, I saw some other articles out there. Don't quote me on those because it's just from me like glancing the internet earlier today, where I saw a couple of them saying that you're going to have to watch out for a lot more of these lawsuits coming out. And, people are looking at, like, that's why I made the joke during Patreon today. We're talking about Suicide Squad, and we're going to talk about how this releases work and try to clear it up for you guys. But I was saying, is John Cena going to sue over HBO streaming this thing on their platforms? But I guess we'll find out and see. I'm kind of with you, Mike. It's like,
I see both sides.
Both
And
sides,
But
right.
the one thing I don't like about Disney is at the bottom, if you're watching on YouTube, prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. You have both of your theme parks open to almost full capacity.
that's so
Like you're
great.
pumping people through in Florida.
Yep.
You're pumping people through at
Great,
Disneyland.
Great
Mhm.
point.
I mean,
you got
so
people, you got people at Avengers Campus.
You just don't care about the effects. You just care about
bottom dollar.
bottom line.
Yeah, that
And I mean, you're a company. I get that, but
comment is to make them look better in the light of the public from COVID. But like,
then you see like the lines at Disney, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
Andy, you got a side in all this?
I'm kind of in the middle too. Like my biggest takeaway is she's done with being
Marvel
in the MCU.
right?
Like I don't see anybody coming back from this.
Yeah, because you
Or-
got to think
whether
when-
she would want to, or even that they threw money at her. Like
Yeah,
who knows? But I mean, she's probably done anyways. Like she died. I mean,
she did.
it had
But
to be some sort
but
of.
you're right though. You
multiversal-
make a decision like that, you're like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sue this. I'm gonna sue Disney. Well, you're obviously not gonna be trying to be in the MCU anymore.
Yeah.
I guess probably just done.
Exactly. But like they did, like they said, they did everything to make this safe. They pushed it back so many times. They just couldn't do it anymore.
They
Like,
tried. I
If,
mean,
if they would have
tried.
pushed it back anymore, people would have been like, I don't care about this movie. I'm not even going to see it now.
Interesting.
When would this movie have been good? You said.
Yeah, right. I mean, 5 years ago, 2016. I mean,
So-
right after Captain America: Civil War is where it belongs.
So you push it to 2022 winter, like
Right. It'd
Yeah,
be
like-
ridiculous.
I mean, it's not bad if you do that, but then you'd have to really change up like the movie just wouldn't work. You'd have to like add more like, oh, this is like a flashback story, but like instead it just felt like you didn't know where you were in it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not, we don't have to get into that again. If you want to hear our review of Black Widow, just go to mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU. Listener, do you have an opinion on this? I think we're all kind of getting around the same thing. You're setting a precedent either way. We're going to see how this thing goes, and it will affect how releases happen. It'll affect how actors sign contracts, which will inevitably impact how actors even end up in certain movies and certain franchises. You might get some disputes where it's like, we saw what they did with the Black Widow movie. Hopefully they can figure this stuff out to where at the end of the day, come on. I mean, how much
Yeah.
money did she make?
exactly.
Like-
I think, like you said, I don't know if she'll be back. Marvel is a cash cow.
Yeah, they're like, we don't care.
Yeah, like,
That's over now.
What's
Remember the
20
Infinity Stones? They're in drawers with Black Widow.
What's 20 million though? Like, isn't that like going rate for like a top like actor or actress in a movie?
I would
That's
think.
what in my head. That's what I thought. So like, if she walks out 20 million, like she should be in pretty good shape.
That's
but
what I'm getting at. Like,
I don't
you
know
got-
how much money she's potentially missing out on. I haven't really read that information, but
for a single movie, she had to make at least $8 to $10 million, and I bet it was double that. Like, I mean, you would think, but because of the pandemic, that's where maybe she took a big hit. But like, what's a big hit? Did you make $2 million?
Yeah, like I bought concert tickets 2 years ago. she made this film 3.5 years ago.
Right.
Those concert tickets to me are now free because I paid for them so long ago.
You paid for them in the past.
She just got like an extra $20 million in her bank account for free.
Yeah, this is like a delayed tax refund.
Yeah, it's like,
and it's millions.
Yeah,
and you're
here
like,
you
you
go.
know what? I'm mad. But then I'm not going to root for Disney either, the big powerhouse
No.
company.
No, I'm not either, but I see both sides. Hopefully her lawsuit changes things for people moving forward, and it changes the language so people can say, hey, if you're going to pay this on Disney Premium Access. I wonder what Emma Stone got for Cruella.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that yet?
No.
I haven't either.
Because I don't want to pay for it on Disney.
I'm not paying Premier Access for that.
No.
Heard there weren't even really dogs in it. Okay, listener, let us know what you're thinking about Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson fighting Disney. Do you have an opinion on it? Do you not? Either way, we want to hear from you. Just go to mostlysuperheroes.com/contact. One last piece of news, quick and easy. There was a brand new trailer for Venom. Let There Be Carnage. I wish they would have thrown a 2 after this thing. I feel like this is a very easy one to be like Venom 2, but they're just not. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Woody Harrelson's coming in this and is going to play the big, red, scary symbiote, the one that I loved in the Spider-Man cartoons growing up. And this new trailer, I will say, got me a little more excited. A lot more Woody Harrelson, I thought, more villain focused, and it looks like it might just be like an all-out battle, hopefully for most of this thing. Andy, let's start with you, man. What'd you think of this new thing to get you pretty jazzed up? This one is coming at us September 24th, right around the corner.
Hopefully, they did not include the date in the trailer, so that kind of concerns me.
Oh, I know. I saw
And
Brandon Davis saying the same thing.
Now we're talking about, I've seen speculation that No Way Home might get delayed because of COVID. Like, come on.
No.
Stop.
Please, no.
Stop it. But anyways,
We'll be like where we were a year ago
the
here in
first-
the studio, just all sitting looking at each other like, remember all those delays? And we're just like, it'll come eventually. It's going to happen all
And it
over
came
again.
we're never going back to Zoom though. That's
it
all I
came
know.
like a flood, though. When
Yeah.
it did come.
Yeah, an
It, like,
overflow.
broke. Yeah, we're like, oh.
The dam broke.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, the action scenes were probably my favorite part of the first movie. So if
Mm-hmm.
they can like kind of piggyback on that, maybe have just a better plot overall that kind of keeps us going.
They need that.
I think I think that's what's missing. I mean, who knows if this connects to MCU and everything, people are going to lose their shit. So
eventually.
I mean, I still think it will eventually, but
Not this
I just
one.
don't know what. Yeah, not this one. No way.
No.
Unless there's a reason. No.
Maybe an end credit scene or
No,
something.
I don't think so. Yeah, we keep thinking that's going to happen, but we need
Listen,
to kick that can way further down the road. I
Yeah, but
think.
we need to give our listen, we're not just pulling this out of our butts here. Like this, we're thinking this because Michael Keaton, the Vulture from Spider-Man: Far From Home, was in a Morbius trailer, and I'm telling you that felt like the same world to me. That's the Sony Marvel stuff. So that's why I think let's see. But anyway, PC Mike, did you see this trailer?
I did.
What'd you think?
I actually really liked it. I like their deadpan humor they have going back and forth,
Okay.
like with Venom and Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it's a red one. Like, I love that. Like, I
Yeah.
thought it was
Yeah.
stupid, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of corny how Carnage became Carnage. I didn't realize.
He just bites.
Yeah.
Looks like he bites Eddie Brock.
Yeah, and he's like, I've tasted blood. And that's not real blood.
But I also feel like there's a part where he's they're giving him the death sentence, and I think that's from the first trailer. He's in the death sentence room where they put the chemical in you.
Is that what
And I
changes
think
him?
that's what I'm
'Cause
wondering.
he has like the blood in him, and then that chemical like
I think there might be
reacts to it or something.
exactly. I think there might be like a third party at play. Maybe that company from the first movie, because there was that company that
Okay.
got in
That
trouble.
makes more sense. That
Somebody
makes me feel better.
steps in and they're like, "Oh, we can activate it." But either way, I thought the same thing. And who is this guy? To Eddie Brock. I guess I don't know enough
So,
of.
I mean, he was a serial killer, right?
yes,
And Eddie Brock's a reporter, so I'm assuming that's how he got in there.
He got
just
him
to
probably
interview
put
Okay.
away.
him. Yeah, or just interview him.
But he knows him because in the end credit scene of the first Venom movie, Eddie Brock goes to talk to him to interview him, and he's like, Eddie Brock, and he really knows.
Well, he
who-
might know like a reporter's coming. I don't know.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just gearing
Like
up for the
Clarice
interview.
Starling goes to see Hannibal Lecter.
It looks like it might just pick
Hello.
right up after that end credit
Sure.
scene.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're fun. I don't really put too much stock into where they tie in, and I think that's where I kind of miss. I wish DC would almost do something different.
Yeah, in terms
You know,
of
like
in terms
not
of what?
have 19 movies that connect,
Yeah,
but give me a trilogy. Boom, something else. Boom.
Yeah.
Like a nice, I don't know, cleaner cut. Because if we keep trying to tie all these DC universe things together, I think they're gonna go crazy. But the Batman Nolan series stands alone, awesome.
yeah, amazing.
Batman and Batman Returns go back to back.
That's a good point.
Awesome.
Well, and then
I
we're-
just kind of like that.
I do too. I know what you mean. Like something that you can just, like these fit together.
But there needs to be an ending. You can't have like Man of Steel and then want Man of Steel 2 and it never come out.
Never come out.
I mean, maybe isn't that kind of what they are doing with the Batman?
Hopefully.
Possibly.
Exactly.
We just don't
The
know what
Batman
all the
could
other
be
shit's
that.
going to do.
But then you're like, where does it tie in? And like, there's always that speculation of how does this tie in? Like,
Remember, one of those directors spoke out about the Batman, and they were like, "This is Earth 2."
Yeah.
And it was like, "Oh wow, okay, so they're already trying to do something here."
Just a thought. Just a thought.
I saw a cool tweet. I wish I remembered who it was. It was like one of those things that Andy was talking about, where you just scrolling and you just see everything that Twitter wants you to see. One of the tweets I saw was very interesting, where they said, "I'm having trouble dealing with Venom as a symbiote attaching to Eddie Brock before it ever attached to Spider-Man, because that's what happens in the comics and in the cartoon and Spider-Man 3, Bully McGuire." I mean, it's part of the lineage of Venom, though, is that it attaches to Spider-Man and it takes kind of like some spider stuff with it, and that's why it has the white like spider on his chest. But like he doesn't have that in this, and like, I mean, it's nothing to get too bent out of shape, but it is very different. I feel like from like original Venom source material. I would guess. We're not gonna pull out the encyclopedia, but I'm just guessing.
Which one?
Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Trailer's out there. Second one, go watch it. And you can just Google Venom and you'll find it. We don't have it living for you anywhere. We can't legally put this on the website. I wish I could just hit play right now, but you can go watch it. September 24th. Hopefully. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to think about it. We're gonna keep the positive vibes right now and hope that, fingers crossed, there are not any delays.
I do feel this is bad. I feel like I could rate this movie like on our 4-point scale without even watching this movie, like because I think that's kind of where it's gonna just fall.
This Venom, Let There Be Carnage?
Yeah.
You can put it out
I
there.
think it's gonna be a 3, like a 3.0.
3.0?
Yeah,
That's a really good guess.
Like I liked it, but
Yeah.
I could watch it again.
Guess what?
I didn't hate it.
I've only seen Venom twice, the first one.
I think I've only seen it once.
I mean, that's coming up really fast. So I didn't.
September
Where can
24th.
It's like a month away.
Where can you
Month and a half.
watch Venom again? Is it just like on FX?
with
something?
With if it's
can look
it
it
might
up
be like
too.
on Stars, because that's where like all the Spider-Man stuff lives. I think Stars and Sony are kind of in bed together, if I'm right. We got 2 PCs going right now. Because I am
iPhone Andy.
yeah. Just look up where to watch Venom and see what Google tells you. It'll like give you like the breakdown. Because I'm gonna bet Stars. You watch, or maybe you have to just rent it.
Yep, it's one of those.
You got to rent it
Think so.
or buy it
Think so.
Amazon Prime,
for what, $5.99?
$3.99.
Pretty close.
I don't really want to pay.
Well, and see, like, there you go. Like, this movie's coming out September 24th. Of course, everybody's going to go watch the first one. So now you're asking yourself, where do I watch this? You're going to have to, sounds like you got to go rent it or buy it.
Yeah.
It might be on Stars, though. Stars has, like, hidden stuff, I feel like.
Hidden.
I mean, like, it may not have told you on
Nah,
Google.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You might be right. Let me see.
But how is my Amazon Prime linked to my Stars?
Oh, it could be.
I don't have Stars, so I
That's
feel
silly.
like I could click on
You
it.
probably don't. Unless you pay the extra for it. Venom, it sounds like you might have to rent this thing. Listener, if you know where to watch this, send it in. We'll feature it out in next week's episode so we can get primed and ready for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Let's talk about what we're watching.
Whatchu Watchin?
What you watching? This is where we tell you what we're watching or what we're reading each and every week. Reading wise, I am about 5-6 pages into The History of the Marvel Universe by Mark Waid. Having a great time with it. Galactus explaining all of the Marvel history to Nathaniel Richards in a future far, far away, and he recaps the whole thing. It's going awesome, and I need the encyclopedia. Andy, you were spot on with that, taking like notes as I go.
Yeah.
Be like, go look up this character later, because they do give you kind of a highlight reel.
Yep.
I'm also trying to start Dune, the book, because the movie is getting ready to come out, but I just don't have time to read. I don't know, like, when do you guys read? You guys reading at all?
work. I've been really bad on comics lately.
You haven't been doing your Marvel Unlimited as much?
Not a lot. I got to get better.
I haven't even
I
subscribed
think once I might start going through maybe some of these what if comics, because I totally didn't realize that it was actually a real comic series that was made in the past.
Does the comic series tie in?
I guess maybe I don't want to do that because I don't know if it'll spoil anything.
You might get spoilers if you're reading just like the pure what if comics.
Mhm.
But you know what we're watching though? We do have some fans that we want to highlight. We always want to highlight you, listener, viewer. If you're trying to get featured during What You Watching, all you gotta do is send it in. Usually the best place to do this is the Mostly Superhero Squad Facebook group. And this one does come at us from our boy Scotty. had a lot in the group, but I wanted to highlight this one because this trailer caught my eye. Saw it recently. It's for The Green Knight. And I'm just going to read this straight from Scott. Hey, squad. I saw The Green Knight in theaters last weekend. Just a quick spoiler-free review. This is an Arthurian tale of Sir Gawain, a knight of the Round Table, based on the poem Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I might be butchering that pronunciation. If you're looking for a standard fantasy hack and slash film, this may not be for you. If you're into artful, Oscar bait movies full of symbolism and cinematography, gorgeous set pieces, and great performances, this is an absolute film for you. I thoroughly enjoyed it, starring Dev Patel, Alicia Vikander, and Joel Edgerton. Scott gives The Green Knight a solid 3.3. Mike, have you heard of this? Did you see the trailer for this?
I've seen things pop up in various social medias, and I haven't really looked into it. To be honest with you,
do you like King Arthur stuff?
Yeah, I do like. Have you guys ever heard that big conspiracy theory that we're really not living in the year 2020?
No, what's that?
That the Dark Ages didn't happen. So
Okay.
the Dark Ages were like from 700 or whatever to 1000, and in year 700, a king wanted to live in the year 1000, so he just changed all the calendars and went to year 1000.
I've never heard this.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like looking up the timelines. It's like 14th century. I'm like, well, is it really 14th century?
Now you're always questioning. You're like, well,
That
is it
dude-
the 400th?
Yeah,
That
because
dude
like,
invented time travel.
they're just like the history of it is just like the Dark Ages, quote unquote.
I like that king. He's like, what's the thing I can do to mess people up the most? Like, we all hate, like, daylight savings time, and also, like, leap year throws us off. I feel like he's one of these leaders that's like, I'm just going to make everybody think it's 1,000 years in the future.
He said I wanted to rule in the year 1000. I don't know who it was, and this is a conspiracy theory that I've heard a long time. And he just changed it. But who's gonna like get onto him? They don't have like iPhones.
He's the king.
Yeah,
He's the king, too.
they
So
probably had like a big celebration, and like some grandpa's like, I thought it was like.
probably some awkward dinners with, like, the family and friends where you're like, it's the 700th year. And he's like, they're like, I mean the 1,000th.
Yeah.
Andy, do you know
I
about
should have brought that up.
Andy? Do you know about the Green Knight? Has this on your radar at all?
Not at all. I don't know what this is until Scott posted that he's going to see it, and I loved his review, and it got me a little more intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
This is a theater only right now. Is that right?
From what I could tell, doing my own research, it looks like it's only in theaters
Yeah,
at the
okay.
moment.
That's gonna wait for a while. I'm not a big would you just call it like Excalibur or something like that?
Yeah, this is like
Stuff.
Knights of the Round Table,
Knights of the Round Table. Yeah,
King Arthur, Merlin, the Sword in the Stone. But like,
Never
how
in-
much of that plays into this? I have
Yeah.
no idea. That name sounds familiar. I feel like I've probably heard it in some like King Arthur type movies and TV shows. But I'm with you, Andy. I didn't know about it. I saw the trailer and then I saw Scott's review, and now it's like, okay, when this is available to stream from my device, most likely, hopefully for free, like with like something I already pay for, that's probably where I'm gonna lean. But I could see myself potentially renting it if it's like $5.99 and it's been like teasing me at that $20 for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually the game they play, right? They show it to you for $20 for like a month or 2, 3 months, and then it's like, okay, you can rent it for $6, and you're like, I'll pay it.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
steal.
for sure.
Yeah, it's
I'm
cheap now.
I'm a big fan of the Green Ranger from Power Rangers. So if this is anything like that,
Tommy?
What about
What's his name? Tommy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tommy
You-
and Kimberly. He was the Green Ranger that was made by Rita. Rita was the bad guy, and she made her own Power Ranger, and he was evil at first. Actually,
Did he turn white too?
yeah,
Yep. He had the Dragon Sword, then he moved to the Tiger Sword when he had the white one. But remember for the Dragon Sword, he would play the.
Oh, yeah. I had one of those as a kid. Those were awesome.
Oh, for sure, that and the gloves. I had everything Power Rangers,
Yeah, Power Rangers rocked.
except for the real helmet, which is what I always wanted. So thanks, Mom and Dad.
My mom made me one out of like a football helmet, and then like she put like
Why didn't you
Felt.
wear that when we had our
felt on it.
Uh,
This is long gone.
Might do a Power Rangers episode. What about the Green Hornet?
Nah,
The
that was
green.
Seth Rogen?
What about the Green Arrow? There's a lot of Green Arrow.
do love
heroes.
the Green Arrow.
Green
you know that.
Lantern?
Green Lantern. There's a lot.
I slid in Stephen Amell's DMs the other day, try to get him on, but
What'd you say?
no response yet.
What was your message?
I was just like, you're one of my favorite people on earth. I love wrestling. I love superheroes. So come on the pod or give us a comment.
Stephen Amell's one of those guys where he might actually respond.
I
something.
was seriously, I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell's
Well,
why
and
not?
he's gonna be at Kansas City Comic-Con in like 2 or 3 weeks.
He's doing a lot of press for his new show Heels that's coming up.
Yeah, I've been
Mike,
seeing
are
the
you gonna
promo
watch
for
that?
Heels.
It's on Stars, right?
Yeah,
Do not know if I have Stars like we
I'll-
just talked about.
you can borrow my
Nice.
account.
I did the free week trial of Stars so I could watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and now the trial has ended and Stars is over for me.
I might wait till it's over and do the free week trial and then watch it all.
You might make a list. What I would recommend is if you're gonna do that, make a list of things on Stars you want to see, and then try to watch them.
Yeah,
all
I
week.
messed up and did the free trial for Paramount to watch A Quiet Place 2 recently.
Oh wow!
And I forgot.
To cancel.
Yes,
I forgot to cancel
So
it,
now
so
you got
it
for
cost me
another month.
$5.
That's not bad.
$5
So I was like,
bucks?
oh well, still less than like renting it. So, but I didn't like it at all. So
Oh,
You didn't like The Quiet Place 2 at all?
no,
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we got.
I have not seen it yet.
Have you
but
seen
I-
you guys have seen the
I
first
saw the
one?
first one. I really enjoyed the first one.
But the second one.
it got good reviews. I just didn't like it, so I don't want to like spoil it for you guys or like.
No, keep it spoiler
should-
free because I haven't seen it. Listeners haven't seen it, but rating off the top of your head.
Probably like a 2.6.
Ooh.
All right, so pretty bad. All right, well, we got a few more here to talk about. Man, Tangent City, I love it. The Green Knight, Scott, thanks for the review. We'll let you know if it makes it on the list. Mike, you're up next. So glad to have you back. Well, me and Andy have been just talking to each other about Wheel of Fortune and Guy Fieri.
Neither of those things
neither
happened,
neither
but
one of them made it. I'm just kidding.
I'm
tell
kind of
us
sad
about-
they didn't.
Tell us about this movie on HBO Max starring Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx. It's called Collateral. I've never heard of it, so talk to me like I never
You've
have.
never seen it?
No.
Andy, have you seen this?
Mm-hmm.
It's on HBO Max now. Jamie Foxx is a cab driver. Tom Cruise is a hitman, and they cross paths for one unforgettable night. And Tom Cruise in this movie is an awesome bad guy. Like, he's usually not in this role. He's usually not in the bad guy role.
Right.
But he is flat good. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan just because I think he's really, really weird. But
I love it.
he is really good in this. Like, hats off to Tom Cruise. Jamie Foxx, always good.
Always good.
Jada Pinkett Smith, I think's in it. Very small cast, but like you get to know the characters, and it's like one night in LA, and it is. I mean, it's pretty action packed. It's like a tug of war between them two. It just came back to HBO Max. I was like, I haven't seen this in a while, and I watched it like on a Sunday.
What year?
Awesome.
What year is this?
2004.
2004.
Okay, so yeah, like I'm like, is this a new movie? So no, it's Collateral. The tagline reads, "It started like any other night."
I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember it was
It's got an 86.
enjoyable.
It's got an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes.
You watch it with your lady?
No, this was like, I think she was doing something, and I just kind of popped it on downstairs and just. But you could. I mean, she would watch it.
Throw a rating on it. You just watched it.
3.1.
Andy,
I can't remember enough.
Not
to
enough?
even- yeah.
is this now that he said that though? 3.1, nice. Are you thinking that you watch this again?
Maybe now that I see that it's on HBO Max, possibly because I've been like trying real hard to find things to watch.
Mark
lately.
Ruffalo's in it.
I just need
Ooh.
stuff to come out.
Okay.
Michael Mann directed it.
All right. Collateral, HBO Max. Got a 3.1 over here for PC Mike, and this is one that I'm definitely added to my list immediately, just based on you've seen it before. I know you question rewatching it, but that doesn't mean
Like a little crime.
You,
You like crime stuff. It's like
love
crime.
it.
Yeah.
Love crime. Realize how much I love thrillers.
Yeah, this is a thriller. This is a perfect thriller for you.
Perfect. Collateral, thriller, HBO Max, Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx. Go check it out. If you end up watching it, let us know. This one is a shared, but we'll just go. We'll do a little bounce around. You saw this too, but it was yours, PC Mike. I'll give it to you. Tell us about this
I've
one.
only seen 2 episodes so far.
Talking about
Oh, me too.
Outer
Perfect.
Banks. Outer Banks on Netflix. There is now a second season. I've seen none of this, so I need someone to talk to me in a spoiler-free way. What is this?
Oh boy.
It's The Goonies meets Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
meets,
It's a wild combination. It's hard to
What?
explain.
meets like what's that one?
What?
Riverdale.
Yes.
I was like, is this for
I know it,
teenagers? And
but-
then like certain things happen, and I'm like, okay, this is not really for teenagers, but like,
It has a.
it's just hard to explain.
It's cringeworthy.
Okay.
Our audience would just be like, "This is okay."
You
This
don't
is-
know. We look at all the. You guys are
Yeah.
watching it. You watch it.
I know
Yeah.
because it's like
No, I was on the
You're
edge
the
of my.
host of the show.
I was on the edge of my seat for like both the first 2 episodes yesterday.
yes, but the acting and the things they do are so bad.
All right. Let's
and
start. Let's start with
cringeworthy.
the basics. What's the premise of Outer Banks?
So, John B. which is literally what they call him. I don't know why they just call him John.
Yeah.
There's no other Johns in the show. That's him.
Okay.
His dad was looking in season 1 was looking for treasure. So it's basically a treasure hunt. And then the girl on the other side of the tracks, Sarah Cameron.
Oh my
think's her
gosh.
name.
It sounds like Riverdale.
Her dad is also looking for it and very rich, and she has scummy brothers, but they're called Pogues and something else.
Two different groups of people.
Yeah, 2 different groups of people on the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
On the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and that's Outer Banks. So there was one season, I'm guessing 10 episodes.
Yep.
And now there's a second season, I'm guessing 10 episodes.
Yep.
And you guys are how far into season 2?
2 episodes.
2 episodes in.
Is that
Not very far. It just came out like
last
week.
Yeah, but when were you watching this? Because 2 episodes, that could be like, I'm just not feeling this.
Oh no, I started it last night, like 8 p.m. So
Yeah, one.
I would
have. We've done one a night.
One a night.
Nothing crazy.
Okay.
I would say
It's entertaining.
I mean, obviously you picked it up for season 2. You didn't walk away after season 1.
True.
What do you get out of
I
this?
should have walked away.
What do you
I
get
don't
out of
think
it?
so. I
What do
like
you-
it way more than
What do you get out of it?
I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time. So
Okay,
I'm,
you're just like, what's going
I'm
to happen?
like, yeah, it keeps you extremely engaged and entertained. So
Okay.
there's not like a lot of slow periods at this point. So I don't think
Why
I
do you
can rate
like
it?
it,
I don't think I
Mike?
can rate it yet.
You don't have to
but
rate it.
I just think it's cheesy and it's mindless kind of watching. But it is. I mean, there are twists and turns, but kind of predictable twists and turns, first season
Yeah.
especially. I don't know. It's just kind of what everyone talks about.
Okay.
And just kind of being like, we just talked about music, but like this is like the pop culture thing. It's number 1 on Netflix right now, and I want to be like in with the scene.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's
True.
hilarious. Keeping you up with the times.
Yeah.
Okay,
Top
Outer.
10.
So you guys got to finish this. Outer Banks season 2.
Oh, we'll finish. But
I feel like anybody that
Probably
is
by
like
next week.
is thinking about watching this, like watch 2-3 episodes, like, and if you don't enjoy it, then
it's
Just
entertaining.
quit.
Yeah.
just quit. But
Yeah, that's
if
how
you like
that's
it,
how,
keep going, and it's gonna get better.
That's
Like,
how
it's-
watching stuff works. You watch it. If you don't like it, just stop.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have to keep going.
You don't. There's
It's
no
true.
one making you do this.
It seems like Mike almost regretted keeping watching.
No, because it's almost cringeworthy so bad at points. Like me and Rachel will look at each other and be like, really?
Okay.
I agree with that.
That's
where
cool.
I'm like, this is excessive, but at
Okay.
the same time, it's very
And
entertaining.
it's wild to me. Just like they're 17 or 18 right now in the episode. They're seniors now in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and they are boozing more than I ever have in my life.
Partying hard.
Yeah, and I'm like, where are they getting all this booze for one?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And one of the most cringeworthy things, all right, spoiler, and
Okay,
it's not really going to spoil much, but
Okay.
in the first season, they took a ferry, they said,
Uh-huh.
from the Outer Banks of North Carolina all the way to Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
How far is that?
Very far and impossible to take a ferry
Not
from
not very far.
the Atlantic Ocean to Chapel Hill, North. It's just like
It's like
stuff
200
like
miles.
Yeah, it is.
I love hearing about the show. Like, what a way to maybe get me to watch it. Like,
I know. I'm like, I don't know what
Turn
to
it on.
say.
Watch a couple episodes.
Okay, deal. All right, it's on the list. Outer Banks season 2. You guys let us know how it goes. Come back, tell us, and we'll definitely get a rating on it.
And
Go ahead.
in real life, they're together now.
Aw.
I don't care.
That throws a little bit to it.
All right, let's talk about Apple Plus TV. I really am excited to hear how this is going. I haven't started it yet, but I love season 1. We're talking about Jason Sudeikis and Ted Lasso. I think this is both of you guys caught up on this. Have you guys finished this? Both
Yeah.
of you?
Yeah, it's coming out one episode at a time.
Oh, it's one at a
also-
time.
They're about two into the
Two in.
season, right? Yeah,
So-
2 into season 2.
So season 2 just premiered a week or 2 ago. It's how many are out so far?
Two.
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 Oh, 2. And how are the first 2 so far? Let's start with you, Andy.
Oh, they're great. I actually binged the first season probably like within the past month or so.
Nice.
I remember Mike talked about this recently, and we had been trying to get Apple TV set up. I didn't have anything that had Apple TV on it
Uh-huh.
that we could stream to our TV. Got a new TV, and it has Apple TV capability. So,
Has like an Apple TV app?
so yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So luckily we got binge this. That's why I started Mythic Quest as well, which we'll get to shortly.
Yep.
But oh man, this is one of like probably it's near the top 10 of
Yeah.
favorite shows that I've seen maybe in my life. I don't know.
Makes you feel good.
Makes
Yeah,
you feel real
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love Ted. I just want to meet the real person, Ted Lasso. Like Jason Sudeikis, I can't say that I like, and he's funny, but I don't like go see a movie that has Jason Sudeikis because he's in it. It's like,
Yeah, and Jason
He's-
Sudeikis
he's
seems like one of
hilarious.
those guys that like could maybe be like a psychopath in his free time. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I just seem like, it wouldn't like. I feel like he's played characters like that. But either way, this is certainly not the case. Ted Lasso, this just all around fun football coach that ends up coaching soccer in Europe. You probably had a fun time this last month binging that first season.
Oh yeah,
because we haven't talked about this in probably 3 or 4 months. But really good time, right?
I loved it. Honestly, I think anyone can enjoy the show. Is what the good thing about it is. Like,
That's a good way to put
no
it.
matter if you like soccer or not, no matter if you like to laugh or not, like there's something for everyone.
Yeah, it's like, who's this show for? It's just for like everyday people.
Yeah.
People, if you interact with other people in your life, this show's gonna be fun for you. Mike, tell me how the first 2 episodes have gone for you.
I think first season knocked it out of the park. This one I don't want to nitpick. Just a little bit slow.
Okay.
I think they're developing some different storylines and some different characters to kind of put it into motion. But haven't had as many laughs yet as the first season.
Yeah, the first
Would you
season-
agree or disagree?
I think you're right. Yeah.
There was some slapstick a little bit in the first couple episodes to get you like fired up off. I felt like there was some, even like a little too much a little bit in the
Yeah.
first season where I was like, I don't need too much funny, like if it's like,
But they've added some different characters and just different kind of things going on here. But I mean, it's must watch. I think.
Yeah.
For anybody that just, if you're feeling down, watch it. Like,
yeah, it makes you feel better.
It makes you feel better, and his outlook on life's great,
Mhm.
and you can really take some life lessons from him, just about how he lives life. The secondary characters are great. I would like to see them probably developed a little bit more, just because like all the players, we only know the one that's like, I love football.
Yeah.
Him, and then the younger guy
Mm-hmm.
that you just talked to last episode. Get to know them a little bit more, and Jamie Tart, who makes an appearance again.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I love the assistant coach in this thing.
yes, he's
Like,
very good.
he's great. I love his character and just everything that's about. Like you never know what he's up to and like what he's got his own journey happening like behind the scenes. I love it.
He's kind of a wild card, like a drunk, and him and his women are always fighting.
Yeah.
The one that they promoted to coach, the guy on the left
Yeah.
right here, he's awful in this season so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just not
Just because
not
he's
there.
changed his role and there's a new guy that took his spot. So.
Oh, okay. So he's dealing with that.
Yeah.
And you're saying it's a little slow. I wonder if Ted Lasso might be one of those shows that could go for like 5-6 seasons.
I hope so.
Like maybe or even 10. If it's like really that feel good. This is like that's usually what it is. If a show like just like good pacing makes you feel good, it could last a long time.
I mean, it has Apple behind it, and
Yeah.
this is probably Apple's #1 show, I would say.
I wonder what it like really getting in the
Oh,
weeds
yeah.
here of like I wonder what it cost them to make this show. And the only reason I think that is because one thing that really surprised me about Apple TV, a movie I saw, Palmer, we talked about in this show, Justin Timberlake, that was only like I want to say between $6 and $9 million to make the entire movie.
I bet first season was low. Second season maybe a little bit higher.
Yeah, maybe like you up it up a little bit, but like it really got my wheels turning on like you can make a movie like Palmer that was just unbelievable. You got JT in it, and like what did he make on that? Make maybe $1 million, maybe like $500,000, maybe 200,000, like to where like he wanted to work on it. I wonder if Apple's taking a different approach. I just don't know.
I think they're on location too in London.
That's
like,
awesome.
shooting this.
That's cool.
That's great.
Because I think when he accepted his Emmy, he was kind of over there. I mean, I think he was stoned when he did it.
He said he wasn't, but he sure.
He looked like it.
I saw an
looked like
article from someone. This is like again just in my personal reading time. I wish I could quote where it was a couple weeks ago. That someone wrote an article that Jason Sudeikis is a lot like Ted Lasso in real life. You guys had asked that, and it's like it might sound like he might be.
Yeah.
He might be,
Well, I think a lot
Or
of
he's
Ted
a
Lasso,
psychopath.
or he's a psycho.
a lot of Ted Lasso comes from
Sociopath.
Jason Sudeikis, like real life. Like he talks about Kansas a lot. And
Yeah.
he's from Kansas. I think his college that he had football at was in Kansas. And like you can see some of the shirts he wears are KC barbecue and stuff like that.
I like that.
So
Well, can you guys help me settle a friendly debate here
Sure.
regarding Jason Sudeikis?
We'll try.
A-list actor, yes or no?
What is A list?
no,
I mean, just
What's A list?
you have to define that yourself.
I think A-list was exactly
That's-
what you said.
that's
You
the
said you
problem.
would not go to the theaters to watch a Jason Sudeikis movie because of him.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
I just said that,
Oh, you said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
and that's how that's my argument
I think he's
against it. But
Yeah.
this came up in a
What do you think?
heated debate.
I don't think
amongst
he's
friends.
A-list.
No, I mean like this is what before this. It's like Hall Pass.
Yeah, like A-list is like Tom
Brad
Cruise,
Pitt.
Brad Pitt,
Will
Man.
Smith.
Listen to
Chris
those
Pratt.
those names. Those names are like so
Well,
like you can definitely tell the years.
that's the
we were
old
born.
A-list.
Robert Downey
it's
Jr.,
like now
Chris
we're,
Evans.
Oh, yeah. I mean those are I mean that's MCU. I don't
Bradley
know.
Cooper.
I don't know. Is Chris Evans
You
even
gotta
really
really-
A-list outside? I think
gotta
you have
really-
to have more than one like series be.
A list
there
is such an
for-
interesting phrase to me. I don't even
I-
know
I
what
know.
that is nowadays.
I agree. I think that's the hardest part of this
Harrison
debate.
Ford, is he still A-list?
He probably
I think-
grandfathered in,
Julia Roberts,
I would, yes.
like George Clooney. Like
That's-
that's A-list to me.
Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman, yes.
Hmm.
I don't think Reese Witherspoon is.
Close.
I think she's
Maybe.
close. I think she's about Jason Sudeikis level.
Charlize Theron.
I think man. I
The
don't know if she's
Rock?
A-list. Rock is new A-list.
He
yes.
is. If there was anybody I could put at A-list right now, I would assume. Like, this isn't my like preference on movies at all. I'm talking about the world.
Mhm.
Because A-list is like supposed to be like an all of us.
But you can
rating.
also get your A-list taken away. Mel Gibson.
But then you can make a big comeback and be Santa Claus in a movie called Fat Man that I love.
Fat Man.
Yeah, I talked about it on the show after Christmas this past
I
year.
remember that.
You
And he
haven't-
was in.
You don't have to wait till Christmas to see it. You go watch it. All right, Ted Lasso, Apple TV Plus. Go check it out. Must watch, and we'll keep you apprised of. I mean, we're never going to stop watching this show. We love it. Also at Apple TV Plus, I have not personally seen this one. Andy, ready for you to tell us about how it's going? Mythic Quest. This is the one where he's the CEO. What's his name from
Mac.
Mac from
Mac,
Always Sunny? What's his actual name?
Rob.
McElhenney.
And he is playing a guy that runs this company that makes a video game called Mythic Quest. They had a season 1.
Ian Grimm.
Ian Grimm, and then they had a special during the pandemic where it was like they all worked at the office, and now this is season 2, I believe, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm actually starting season 1.
So
I just started the
Okay.
show on Sunday, and this is kind of why I'm keeping my comments on it brief, because I was in and out of sleep for the entire 9 episodes we watched.
fair.
So
Appreciate the honesty.
I actually have to rewatch a few because this lapsed for like the entire day. I was just like in and out. Just it's not the show's fault.
Do you
It was
I would
just
say, do you ever
long.
feel guilty like when you
Yeah.
always think like, man, if the makers of this knew I was just sleeping during this,
And
they'd
I
be so
kinda-
upset.
I also wanted to discuss like how often does that happen to you guys?
Not that it
On
takes. I just have to be like flat out tired. It has to be like the middle of the night, like for it to be happening to me. Like I feel like
I
Yeah.
personally won't put something on, like on Netflix, that's going to keep running if I know I'm probably going to take a nap. So that's like a guy's grocery game day for me.
Yeah, I didn't mean to, but like
it happens.
I mean,
Yeah.
so you're gonna go again.
extremely entertaining. I like woke up and I felt like I was watching a different show because
Because you were.
yeah,
Because there's one episode, all right, spoiler,
Uh-huh.
there's one episode in Mythic Quest Season 1 that does not fit at all in the whole season.
Really, something that like changes.
It's with Jake Johnson
Is it,
from New
is
Girl.
it sloppy?
No, it might be the best episode of the whole show.
Okay.
It
it's just for backstory.
Yeah,
pretty
a
much, I
little
guess,
bit
is
of
what
back-
is the vibe I'm getting right
A
now.
little bit of backstory, but like not
Interesting.
enough to make it a whole episode.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I was
Fair.
cracking
So,
up
yes.
because Monday I like logged on Apple TV and I was like, how many did we watch? And I was like, yeah, it'd be like 4 or 5. I saw it. It's like episode 9's queued up to go next, and I was like, oh man, I got some
Uh-oh.
work to do because Steph's like, you got to catch up so we can rewatch it or like start watching again.
So if the listeners are looking to you for a good review, it's not a good place to look.
No,
right now.
I was more here just for the case study of just to make sure that I wasn't the only one that just fell asleep during shows all the time. But
No,
you
not
guys,
me.
You guys aren't helping me here, so
No, that's embarrassing.
oh god, I'm quitting.
No, don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. Mythic Quest. All right, listen, I haven't seen this thing. You've seen it though.
I've seen season 1. We're about 3 or 4 episodes into season 2.
How's it going so far?
I think it's just fine.
Yeah.
It's one of those I can throw on a Sunday,
That's how I feel
kind
because
of
I'm.
watch and kind of play on your phone.
I
It's,
didn't-
it's just
Not as good as
Yeah.
AP Bio.
I don't think it's as good as AP Bio. It's definitely not as good as Always Sunny.
What about the Mick?
I hadn't seen enough of the Mick.
The Mick was not that bad.
I think the Mick's.
What about
I-
Pacific Rim?
I haven't seen Pacific.
Anybody with me?
Oh,
Anybody
that's
staying
Charlie.
with me?
That's Charlie Day, right?
Oh man, I forgot.
What about Batman? Danny DeVito. Batman Returns.
It's just okay. I just don't laugh as much as I do in those other shows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember. I know.
You
I
finish
was,
an episode and you're like, I didn't laugh that much.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
I was enjoying it.
This
but
is what I feel when I see the promo. I look at it and I look at it and I say, like, I don't. Whatever it is has not pushed me over the edge to push play because I have Apple TV Plus, and I just haven't pushed play.
I love that Rickety Cricket's in it though.
yeah.
Oh, that's great, Ricky Cricket.
And he's not nearly as good in this show as he is in
No.
that.
And they're still making Always Sunny.
I don't think they're gonna stop.
Oh,
Oh,
they
they're
have,
really
like-
good friends.
They're signed up for like 5 more seasons.
I need to get back on that. I haven't watched probably since season
Oh.
14 or so. I'm like really behind, and that's one that you got to put on.
That's around where they're at right now, I think.
Aren't they on like 15, 16?
Hang on.
I just looked this up yesterday.
All right, Mythic Quest, Apple TV Plus. Mike's
I can't
looking up what's happening with Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is an FX show. I remember when 13 came back.
It's 14.
Okay.
Season 15.
So I'm not that far behind. I'm probably
Yeah.
one season behind. One whole season and whatever they're on now. Let us know if you're watching it, listener, viewer. If you are watching Mythic Quest, maybe you can help us get on one side of the fence or the other. If you really are a fan of the show, or if you're not, let us know. Or if you're in the middle like me, we'd still love to hear from you at mostlysuperheroes.com. I have a couple for us here that'll be nice and quick. Before we get to the break, we do have a feature today, getting back to the meat, talking about Superman 2, and very excited to do it. A wacky, silly movie that I can't wait to talk about. First up for me, though, is a Bruce Willis movie. It's called Out of Death. Came out just this month, or actually July 2021.
Of course you watched it. He's an A-lister.
He is an A-lister. And this movie is definitely like Bruce Willis doing his own thing in this film with Jamie King. The film premiered July 16th, just this year. Directed by Mike Burns. Basically, here's the synopsis. A corrupt sheriff's department in a rural mountain town comes undone when an unintended witness throws a wrench into their shady operation. This was an easy-to-watch thriller, a movie about who are these characters, what are they about, and what will happen next. Not great ratings, I don't think, out there in the real world. I can see why a lot of people think this is bad, but I had a great time. Me and Carrie enjoyed it. What do you got pulled up over there, PC Mike?
It has a whopping 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That can't be true. I thought it was at like 30. I thought it was at like 30 or 40% last time I saw it today. It's not doing well. People were saying bad things, and like
I've never heard of this.
I really enjoyed it though. I was like,
the audience score gave it a 43.
I don't know if I'll ever rewatch it. I don't know if it's like one of those, but like, I mean, it was fine. I mean, we watched it on Saturday.
It has a 3.1 on IMDb.
That's out of 10.
Yeah.
See, I guess I'll throw it a rating then. Yeah, I mean, if I had a good time, Carrie and I had it was definitely some dumb parts. Same look, right? Where something dumb happens and you look and you're like, okay. But I was invested. I was invested in the bad guy, just a classic 90s bad guy. Like the music, this guy has his hair slicked back and wears black shirts, and Bruce Willis is the good guy, but he's like not too much Bruce Willis. He lets the other actors breathe in this thing. Have you guys seen this?
I've never even heard of this.
Never
This is
heard
like
of it.
Just a classic
What's it on?
Bruce Willis movie.
You gotta rent it.
You paid for it.
Paid for it. Saw it. I looked up thrillers. Me and Carrie were like, we're looking for a thriller. I've got to
Okay.
where like that's mostly what we watch. I feel like it's getting really interesting. I really enjoy them, and like I enjoy like her and I like talk back and forth about like, all right, where's this going, and like who is it? All right, they just showed us this, so this means this. This is perfect. If you like to think about stuff like that, and you even semi like Bruce Willis, you're gonna enjoy it. But no, the internet is tearing this movie apart.
Can I read this review? That
Please
just
read a
made
few.
me LOL.
We're gonna start bringing reviews. Oh man, please. We might start doing this for fun.
Don't
Let's hear
have
it.
this guy's name, but it
Out
said,
of Death. Here we go.
said, let it be known that this fiasco of a movie does not even deserve the 1 star I am giving it. I am really aggravated here. This has to be one of the worst movies of the last 100 years. Shocking to see Bruce Willis affiliated with this movie. He must be going through some things.
Oh my God, that's so great. What was the name of that? Did they have like a username or something?
No, it's just a picture of a guy.
Where are these reviews? Amazon?
Oh, it goes on.
Where are these reviews?
Yeah, like Google on the
It's
side.
Google reviews. Okay.
What's it says? He really must be going through some hard times financially, or the IRS is after him, or he was just doing some charity work for the children or some hospital. Not even Steven Seagal at his worst has sank that low.
oh my
Horrid.
God.
Oh, it goes on. Oh, this is a long one. This is the only one I'm reading, but it's long.
That's fine.
Horrendous directing and atrocious acting, including Bruce Willis. The should I read on? Or there's a little bit of spoiler.
You know what I'm thinking here? No spoilers. We're not gonna read spoilers. I don't even know who this person is, and they're just. I mean, this could just be some ranting internet person.
Someone that hates Bruce Willis a lot.
Yes,
I imagine this is the kind of screening they would show prisoners at Guantanamo Bay on a 24-hour loop as torture. The movie poster is a total catfish with Willis having a sheriff's star or something.
Yeah, he's a cop. He's a cop in the movie.
What a ripoff, iTunes. I want my money back. The director should put his camera down and do something else.
Oh,
I could do a
this
better.
guy just loves trashing on stuff on the internet. We don't even know. We don't even have his name, and we've given him way too much airtime already. That's enough.
I
That's
have his name. But
Well,
I'm not blasting.
There's
this
9
guy
other
all the time.
people on Rotten Tomatoes that gave it a 0. So
That's bad. How many people of Google users like this movie? It gives you that percentage.
Out of 5.
It says percentage of Google users that like this movie is usually what it says. If you just like Google the movie and it says like watching Amazon Prime, watching whatever, along the rating, it'll say like,
138 ratings
and does it say like a percentage?
out of one. It has an average star of 1.3,
That's not very good.
and you have to give it a 1.
All right, well, let's just like not mess around here. I told you what I think of it. You read the internet. What are you gonna watch this ever?
No, I'm not paying money to watch this after
Andy?
my
No.
friend just said
Okay.
this.
All right, listener, viewer, I need some backup. Hopefully somebody out there has seen this thing and can tell me that if there's at least one other person out there that likes it. We had a good time.
I respect your thoughts on it though, because
I mean, if I threw it a rating, like like I said, I don't need to see it again, and it wasn't like amazing by any means. It definitely was not amazing, but like bad. I mean, I could see how it's bad, but like I had a good time. I had a good time. It made me.
That's all movies should be. Did you enjoy it?
I was feeling like they brought a lot of like old like just funny things from the 90s back, like the way they do bad guys, the music, the relationship between like the small town cops. There's a lot of things that you'll see that you'll be like, this feels like it's a movie I've seen before. And Bruce Willis is very different in this. He's like not all gung-ho. He's more of like this relaxed, just good guy cop, just trying to do the right thing. He's not like, he doesn't get too like excited or anything. It does sound bad when you start explaining it, I guess.
well, here, if you have to watch, you can only watch one movie for the rest of your life, and it's either Bruce Willis Out of Death or Superman 2. Which one would you choose?
Superman 2. But like, I see what you mean for sure.
I'm just helping transition to our next point. You know.
So,
All right.
So you're only watching thrillers now. Mostly.
No,
Mostly.
a lot, because they're just fun.
There's 2 on Netflix that I absolutely love.
Put them
if
in
you've
here.
watched
I'm writing them down. Thank you.
Tell me.
The Game.
You have to write it down. This is going to be in the episode.
The Game. Have you ever seen the movie The Game?
No.
Must watch.
Must watch.
Must watch.
Okay,
Michael Douglas.
Where do you watch it?
Netflix.
Okay, what else?
Mystic River.
That sounds familiar. I haven't seen it.
You must see. Mystic River won more Academy Awards.
Also Netflix?
Also Netflix. Those
All right.
2.
We will watch them 100%. And here, I'm going to give you one last must watch before we wrap up what you watching for the break. Andy, was it you that talked about Andy?
That was me.
You did. You brought this one up. Carrie and I put it on the list. It actually got us to subscribe to Peacock Premium because we didn't want those ads, and we only got the first 3 episodes of Dr. Death. Now I've seen them all. Season 1, probably the only season. Probably like a limited series, I would assume.
Yep.
Must watch. What's this guy's name again?
Joshua Jackson.
Joshua Jackson, Alec Baldwin, Christian Slater. Oh my gosh, this story about this doctor that's hurting and killing people. It came from a podcast, Dr. Death. 10 episodes, I think, somewhere around there.
I think so.
Or
I'll-
6?
I think it was like 8. No, there's at least 8. There's at least 8, and I want to say maybe 10. We watched this in one day. I mean, we just, it was a weekend watch.
Yeah.
And we just went for it. It was awesome. How many? 8? 8 of these things. Peacock, yeah, you can watch it for. You can watch the first 3 episodes for free on Peacock, and then if you want to keep going, you have to you got to pay for a plan. And I think for the cheap plan, it's like
$5, $4.99.
and then premium was 10. I just went ahead and did 10 for at least that day because I was like, I don't want any more commercials because we'd already seen a lot. You get one in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Yeah.
Well, now that you have Peacock, I would recommend AP Bio if you haven't watched that,
Yep. All right, on the list.
and the John Wayne Gacy
Yep.
doc.
It's time because you brought that up on the show many
Mhm.
months ago.
Yep.
And remember when I said, I was like, maybe we'll get to Peacock?
Mhm.
This was the show that did it. And I can tell you, I'm no regrets. Must watch. I mean, it's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to make you very fearful of going to the doctor. But it'll also hopefully make you realize that hospitals and businesses within those hospital systems, they function just like any other business in the world. And you got to challenge things. You got to ask questions. And sometimes you got to like go with your gut because I'll say this, a lot of people should have picked up on this a lot sooner.
And we started
That's
it.
insane.
We've watched the first episode. Will we watching more?
Okay.
Good. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, you
I
finish
enjoyed
it
the
up.
show, too.
Hey, you finish it up and we can do like a spoiler-filled talk about it because like, man, I want to talk all about this. So we'll keep it spoiler-free for you now. Go out there and watch it and you can plan on Dr. Death being talked about on an upcoming episode. We'll break it wide open. Lots of what you watching today. We get you featured at what you watch in what you watching. Visit us at mostlysuperheroes.com. Go to the Mostly Superhero Squad on Facebook. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. Finally add to the DCU library. We're talking about Superman 2, and I can't wait to break it open with these two guys. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hey podcast listeners, this is Chris Holsey. I'm the host of the new true crime podcast, Small Town Forgotten. In the first season, I focus on a very personal cold case. 31 years ago, my family member Jimmy Wade Martin was murdered in front of multiple witnesses in Bonne Terre, Missouri. A murder weapon was found and a man confessed, and yet there have been no convictions and no justice for Jimmy Wade's twin daughters. You can listen to Small Town Forgotten directly from our website, smalltownforgotten.com, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.
The meat.
Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes. I'm your host, Logan. This is the meat, the chunk, the sizzle of the episode. It's what you want. We're here with PC Mike and the Giggler, finally getting around to our DCU rewatch. We haven't put it off for a while. We're back to it. Before we get there, if you're watching on YouTube, no, you're not taking crazy pills. I didn't have Mike on the camera for the first half of the episode.
I'm here, though.
You're
In
here.
person.
You could see him with the screen. Podcast listeners, you're fine. Nothing's changed. It's just
I even wore a polo today.
I know.
I
That's what I was
know.
saying. You look so nice, and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like I had some weird error message on the thing, but
I'll be on this one. You'll just see a small version.
and
of
you'll
it,
be
but-
on that one. Like to see the
Oh,
screen one.
yeah.
That's you. So you'll be in that little thing. Here we are for the meat, folks. We actually all three watched this thing. Would you say fortunately or unfortunately?
both.
Little mix of both. We watched Superman the movie several weeks ago, and this is the sequel to that movie. So if you're not familiar, Christopher Reeves was in 4 Superman movies. This is the second one in the lineup. This movie was released June 19th, 1981. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, we're highlighting, I don't know, the best part of the movie that we're going to talk all about it. Directed by Richard Lester. Now, if you've listened to previous episodes, we've talked a lot about Richard Donner, who passed away this year. And
R.I.P.
R.I.P. And he did Superman the movie. We're going to talk about the Richards on Superman 2. There's a little bit of a drama with this movie. But Richard Lester is the listed director. Stars Christopher Reeves as Superman, Clark Kent. Margot Kidder comes back as Lois Lane. Gene Hackman coming back in as Lex Luthor, picking right up where it left off from the first movie. Terrence Stamp playing an awesome but also weird General Zod, and so many more. And spoiler alert right now for this super wacky sequel. Let's break it open. Talk about the stuff that happens, the story. Gave that spoiler alert we're talking about again. Superman 2. We'll go and give it up.
Wacky.
Andy, you had never seen the Superman the movie when we had talked. And I'm guessing you had never seen this one.
Correct.
So you watched it this week for the very first time. Why don't you give us just your initial gut reaction of how you felt during this movie? What was this movie? What was the experience watching a movie from 1981 called Superman 2? How'd that go for you?
Well, you said wacky, and like that describes it perfectly. But I really wanted to like go back in time to see like obviously it wasn't intended to be that way at this time,
Mhm.
but that's just how we foresee it now because of everything, technological advancements and all that we have now. And we've just been spoiled with just
That's a
the
good way to put
greatest
it.
superhero universe of all in the world now. So
Yeah, like when you talk about the genre, like this was the second movie to really ever kind
Yeah.
of try this, you know? So I see what you're saying. They hadn't figured out the formula to make a superhero movie kind of resonate with an everyday audience.
I like this way more than the first one.
Okay.
It still wasn't great though. Like I will never watch it again.
Yeah, one and done.
But it had its moments.
And we're going to talk about them. PC Mike, I sometimes call you DC Mike. I mean, you know Soups. How many times have you seen this? And you watched it again this week, right?
Yeah. I've
How'd
only
it go?
seen it a couple times when I was younger. It falls a little short for me. I liked one better because I think I appreciate what one did for us as a whole, like launching us into superhero movies can be a thing. I don't know. I need to probably take a step and a page from Andy's book about, hey, this is made in like 1980.
1981
Yeah.
came out.
I need to probably like keep that in mind as I watch it. But
Yeah, but
man,
there were a lot of good movies in the 80s. Some of
Yeah.
the best movies ever made.
yeah, this one was hard because you got to think like, I think Indiana Jones came out this year.
Yeah.
The first one.
At least, I mean, again, the 80s, you talk about 80s
And
movies.
if I compare that to this, it's like, geez,
Yeah.
really? I don't know. It didn't do it for me.
Yep.
There's just some parts that I'm just like, I don't know.
All right, well, let's take us through the story. My gut reaction is, man, I love Superman. So for me, the nostalgia starts kicking in pretty hard. The music, anytime it hits, I'm
Yeah.
happy. You get him flying and saving people. I think I'm smiling. But there's so much in between that's only like 10% of the movie. 15% of the movie is like him doing Superman stuff. The rest is some of the most bizarre banana stuff you've ever seen. Now let's just talk about it. Give that spoiler alert. Just gonna very quickly take us through a lot of this. Just like kind of no strict notes or anything. Just kind of jump in where you guys, if you think of something, let me know. But like I said, this picks up right where the last movie dropped off. So spoiler alert for that movie. Lex Luthor is in jail. Not for long, though. You guys want to talk about the escape?
Hot air balloon.
Where does
Of course.
Let's do it.
Where's his sidekick go the rest of the movie?
So Ned Beatty comes back in this as Otis. You also have Miss Taskmacher, and this is the plan. Otis and Lex Luthor have a hologram device installed perfectly like our cameras here. Not perfectly, I guess.
That wasn't too bad.
And then
The plan of that.
but they're just sneaking out against the wall.
Yeah.
Hot air balloon. But he leaves Otis behind.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then,
I'm assuming he'll be back.
But you don't see Taskmacher again.
Mm-mm.
That's it. She was just there for the ride.
Yeah.
Okay. What else happens? Superman saves Lois from like some terrorists, and he throws a bomb into space. And what's this bomb do? It awakens the Phantom Zone, where General Zod and his two cohorts are now free. They land on the moon. They just didn't really know anything. They knew nothing. They didn't know what star system they were in. They're on the moon. They meet astronauts.
They were floating around on that piece of paper, it looked like.
Yeah, the spinning, like
They murder astronauts.
they murdered the astronauts for like no reason. And they hear him say, "Houston, we have a problem," and they're like, "This must be Planet Houston." So they get to Planet Houston, they think, and while all this is going on, Superman and Lois are at Niagara Falls for an undercover story, and she doesn't know, that Clark is Superman. This is like the big thing about Superman. No one knows who he is, but she's starting to catch on. And so this is like the simultaneous things happen. Zod's kind of coming to Earth, and Clark, Lois, she pretty much figures it out in the first 20 minutes of the
Yeah,
movie.
because that dumbass kid.
Because that kid.
Fall down I'm just going to hang out outside and just fall into Niagara Falls.
Into
What a
Niagara Falls.
dumbass
Standing
kid.
on top of the railing.
Yeah.
He takes off his glasses for a second. And she looks up at him and that's it. She's like, she knows. What does she do to test the theory?
Throws herself in.
She throws herself into Niagara Falls. And what does he do? He lets
Acts a
her.
fool.
He lets her swim.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm not gonna be Superman yet." He's like, "I'm gonna make sure she really needs me," and never even changes. Gets her out, and he
does the log.
He does the log. He
Doesn't
uses,
he?
he
Yeah.
uses his heat vision, drops a log in Niagara Falls. She catches it.
Drops a log.
This happens regularly, and they get back to the hotel.
Super log.
Super log.
Oh my god.
They get back to the hotel, and he's gotten away with it, except for one thing. He dropped his glasses into the fire. He doesn't burn his hand. Boom. They know. What's the first thing they do? They fly to the Fortress of Solitude, and he decides, "I'm going to marry you. I'll be with you forever." And what's he have to do?
Turn human.
He has to get rid of his powers to do this.
I'll say I guess I didn't.
That was
see
quick.
I didn't see that coming. I never knew that was a thing that ever happened in Superman. So maybe that's why I was more intrigued by this movie, because it's new to me. Like I knew the last one. I was like, I know who Lex Luthor is. I know Superman flies around the world to reverse time. So this is kind of, we're getting into like new Superman stuff.
Yes.
Some of it good, some of it bad. But
No Marlon Brando, right?
No big. He's supposed to be in the movie,
But he's not,
but he's not.
because it was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
But you see his mom. You get his mom in this, which I don't know that actor's name.
I can look it up.
But she's in it a lot, and she says like, yeah, if you're gonna marry a human, then you got to be human. Well, of course, perfect time. The story's kind of there. I feel like it's not too bad. It's just the stuff that happens in between. But he loses the powers.
Susanna York is her name.
Good. No, I'm glad. I wanted to be able to get that. Appreciate it. But I didn't. I would have never known it. Didn't write it down. What do they do after he loses his powers? Immediately, they have some super sex in the Fortress of Solitude, like special quarters where there's a nice like silky bed. All the while, General Zod is hanging out in some western town, just terrorizing one person after the other. They meet the news reporter that's like they're in the town like, we got people blowing up. They're blowing up
Those
cars.
cops,
They're blowing up the cop cars. They don't
arm wrestling.
They don't really seem to have an agenda.
No, like
They're just on Earth. They're just like, I'm on Earth. We have powers. We can fly. They go to the White House. They basically take over. One of the funniest parts to me, man, is whenever. All right, so it's what, an hour after Superman or Clark and Lois, do the deed. They go to a diner. What happens? He gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Immediately, and not just kind of kicked, like
pummeled.
Pummeled. Like Carrie was like, he's really hurt. Like, what is going on here? Like, this is not going well.
I wish the guy would have punched him and been like, "Do you bleed?"
And he's like, yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Now I do.
All right, so
I wish the waitress's name was Martha.
he decides, okay, I got to stop these odd people. He sees it on the TV. What's he do? He walks back to the Fortress of Solitude, tries to hitchhike. Nobody will pick him up. I mean, he walks his ass all the way back, gets his powers back. Not really even, I don't remember exactly how. Like, he just did. Like, he found the crystal, and, like, it worked out.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because the mom was like, you can never give your power. You're never going to get your powers back. No takes backs. But he literally took it back, 20 minutes later. And this is where we get some wild Superman powers, that some of which are Superman that I know, but some of which are very much not. So you got Lex Luthor. Gene Hackman's in this thing. Basically just along for the ride. He's just there to tell Zod that, like, I'm here to be your guy.
What's
And
his angle, too?
Playing both sides.
Get rid of Superman?
He was playing both sides.
Yeah.
He was like, get rid of Superman, or, like, if these guys get too rough, have Superman get rid of them. And I love this fight scene in the Fortress of Solitude. I mean, you get the three of them. There's a lot of punching, stuff like that. I did have like some of the, you know what I realized? Man of Steel is just Superman 1 and 2 combined, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting that vibes when I saw him fighting Zod.
Exactly. Because
Whatever those other two weirdos' names were.
Can never remember.
No.
And they're throwing each other through buildings.
Lurch and Girl Lurch.
They're messing up downtown.
Nightman. That's who Zod is. He's just Nightman. The Nightman cometh.
Also, even the part of Man of Steel where Henry Cavill Superman, he has Zod in the thing, and he, he's holding Zod in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like, the one's like, I'm gonna kill Lois, and I'm like, wow, there's definitely some duplication here, which is cool. What about pointing our fingers at Superman and just white light comes out of us to blast him? Yeah. And then for him, this is the picture you guys talking about right here on our YouTube and our Facebook. What's he do? He takes the S off his chest
and like throws it like a blanket, but it's like a sticky blanket,
and it wraps around Lurch, Kryptonian.
I truly don't know.
Family Guy made fun of this. They're like, he's like, oh, I guess I was slightly inconvenienced.
Yeah, just
a warm blanket of Superman S around me for a hot second.
I've just never seen anything like that in my life. Like, I just want you to rip your part of your shirt off right now and just
throw it
like a fly like trap, like the sticky fly traps or something. Like he threw it.
It looked like
it looked like
cellophane.
Yeah.
Yes. I was trying to write down like in my notes like what to even call this. So I was like, what do I write?
And it's
here?
parts like that where I go like, obviously they wrote this for like Superman fans. Like there's a lot of Kryptonian like lore, comic book lore in these things. They work into these stories. I'm like, where did this come from? Like I don't ever remember a Superman that could do this. But either way. He ends up tricking Zod and his cohorts to lose their powers, and then they murder him. They throw him down like a pit in the Fortress of Solitude. Really getting to the end here. Lois Lane knows that Clark Kent is Superman, except for his magic kisses that make you forget what happened for the last week. Like, not just the afternoon. Like, she's like, this is too much. And he's like, I'll help you with that. Magic Superman kiss, memory wipe. Like, kind of would not play well in today's climate.
It's true. Now you're going to have, I'm assuming she's pregnant. Right?
I mean.
Am I right or not? Spoiler alert.
No, it's not that good.
No?
You're giving Superman 3 too much credit,
okay.
I think, right now. You're saying that he got her pregnant and that'll come back?
I don't know.
How crazy would that be if she was pregnant with Superman's son and had no memory of hooking up with Superman?
Exactly.
That's a police report.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's where it's like a little messed up. But like, is that what it meant to you guys? Like, he like memory wiped her.
Yeah, I know. It's like
Men in Black. Men in Black.
All right.
Look right here.
Credits roll. It's all right. I had a good time. I could have done without 70% of this thing. I told you guys this would be a quick review. I watched it literally yesterday, beginning to end. Andy, what do you got on this? Any notes for its listeners today?
Just some points that I wanted to touch on.
Please.
Probably one of maybe in the top 5 of most ridiculous things in the movie. Definitely not top 1 though. Is when they were all blowing at the people like down the street
For 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't understand. The guy was on. My favorite was the guy that was on roller skates conveniently,
Skating backwards so hard.
Oh my god!
I literally go, that guy's on roller skates.
Yeah, same scene. There was just a big ass Marlboro truck and the Coca-Cola sign.
Yeah,
I was like,
there was some product placement.
This got to be one of the
hard in this
first product placement type things. I feel like I feel like I didn't see that a lot in older movies, but
Carrie
could
goes.
be wrong.
Carrie, there was the bus hit it and the Marlboro truck kind of cushioned it, and Carrie goes, "That's probably the first time that a truck full of cigarettes saved somebody."
Damn, Carrie, that's savage. And that's a great point because in the first 5 minutes of the movie, Lois is talking about how she wants to drink all this vitamin C to stay healthy, and she's just smoking cigarettes in her office the whole time. I was like, this is crazy how much the world has changed in the last 40 years now.
Can I just say that Margot Kidder didn't look so great, especially from the first one. The first one she looked fine. This one, Carrie's is she supposed to be a gas station attendant?
Oh God!
Whoa,
She's
Carrie,
really throwing punches.
we got to get her on live more. I feel like she.
I tell her I've
would-
invited her. When you were out, I was like, "There's a mic open." I was like, "You gonna get down here?" She said she'll probably be here for the Fast and Furious episode.
Okay, I know somebody that's waiting for the call up for that.
I know. Well, I'm the only one that's seen the movie. Says Carrie. I mean, you were invited.
I didn't. I did the first. when we broke down the first 8 movies, I didn't see any of
8
them.
movies in one episode.
That was a long one.
I
can't
take
believe it.
that
Gotten
back.
so much better.
Oh, we're honing in.
I've only seen the first 2, and I listened to your guys' breakdown. So I guess if I want to count that as enough as
That's like seeing them.
for me seeing them, then I guess I could see it.
All right, what else you got in Superman 2?
2 things. This is just nitpicking, but
Go ahead.
when he was going to the Eiffel Tower, I felt like it took him an hour to get there. When literally in the last movie he
Reverse the Earth.
reversed the Earth that he could fly so fast. So
And he went and got her food for their date at the fortress and was back,
I was
instantly.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, what is he doing? Is he just taking his sweet time to get there? I don't
Mhm.
know. And then best quote of the whole movie is the very end. I've never seen garbage eat garbage before. that I had a rating in my head and I put it up by 0.1 because of that quote.
What? Who said that? When he
went
because he
back
goes
to fight that guy.
He goes back to the
He
diner
gets his redemption. Yes.
as Superman
And he's just
and destroys that place.
It's a very George Costanza insult.
yes.
I've seen garbage eat garbage before.
I know. I just didn't expect this nerdy dude walks into a diner and is like, you're garbage.
Yeah.
You just kicked my ass the other day. And
Why did the
Then he
diner
just
let
gives-
that guy back after he ruined all that stuff too?
I would assume
That's what I was saying. And then Clark is
Is that guy a really good customer?
yeah, if he
Exactly.
eats there every day, then
exactly. He's like, listen, man, this guy's here every day. He causes problems twice a year. But then Clark hands him all that cash and goes, "This is for all the damages." And I was like,
I knew
"There's no way that's enough."
Yeah. That was a nice pinball machine he ruined. So
He ruined a pinball machine.
and everyone's food that was
He's
he
like,
just
he's
threw
taking
him
this
across the
order
bar.
to go or something like
But
that.
you
Yes,
gotta, you gotta think 1980s prices, eggs, hash browns, and bacon are probably 85 cents.
It's true.
They're still pretty cheap. Breakfast is still the way
Bacon's
to go.
expensive though. You buy a pound from the store, it's
It is.
$6-7.
That's true.
I'm hungry.
PC Mike, anything you want to share about this movie?
We hit it pretty well. I am shocked at the reviews of this.
Okay.
It has an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
It has a 7.5 on IMDb.
IMDb.
It
I
made
do that all the time.
It made $140 million.
Wow.
Made.
Thank you for these stats.
190 it made in the box office, and it cost $50 to make.
wow.
This cost $50 million to
And I-
probably have $10 million of that flying S.
Yeah, they're like, we got to have this scene. They're
Yeah.
like, it's going to be expensive.
I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. I think the last one I gave a 3.0 just because it started superhero movies.
Yeah.
I'm giving this one a 2.2.
Ooh, there's your rating right there.
I didn't enjoy it.
What do you think the problem is?
the campiness
Mhm.
and
So campy.
I know he's Superman, and that's what Superman's like biggest knock has been, that you can't like warm up to him as a character
Mm-hmm.
because he's literally an alien. But it's just hard to like even care
Yep.
about the characters, and then just so like, did Zod and them ever say why they were there?
No,
I know they're like from the same planet.
they're from the
right?
same. Yeah. So in Superman 1, they talk about it a little bit. You know, Kal-El's dad, Jor-El, Superman's dad, was the one that locked them away right before Krypton blew up. So
Okay, that makes
and so in this movie, Lex Luthor goes, you know, this is Jor-El's son, and he goes, oh,
Yeah, like
Oh.
that's how he knew.
but like, yeah, exactly. That was how he knew. He didn't seem to really know anything else, and again, never really even had a plan, and also just was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
You know, like just following Lex Luthor around, getting to the fortress, getting tricked so easily. Andy, final thoughts and a rating for you for Superman 2 before I give mine.
Yeah.
I wrote mine down before we came in too, so I'm glad I did that because this might have been one of those instances that you guys affect me.
I'll give it credit. It was better than the first one. I was dreading watching this movie today.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got about halfway through, I was like, this isn't that bad.
It's fine.
And I'm going to go with a 2.5.
Mm.
Slightly higher than the first, but
This is crazy. This is crazy watching how these movies play out. Like the first one and this one.
I think 3 and 4 are really bad.
4 I know is for sure. 3 I'm actually really excited to see. Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
There's also like some weird stuff with Superman and like what happens with his powers again. Like it's just like they always throw in new powers in each movie. You're always going to get something new.
that scares me right now to think about, given what this is.
And they're long too is the other thing. You're like, I got to watch this. Did you watch it with your ladies?
No,
No.
I didn't put her through that.
This is on your Carrie let me watch it last night like during real time. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, 'cause I don't know when to squeeze it in. Having the full-time job is really throwing a wrench and watching stuff all day. All right, Superman 2, man. Like I said, this thing, I went in going like, this is going to be bad. I haven't seen this in probably 10 years. I remember it being like not so great. The campiness is so ridiculous. Like even people always say, you know, for the times, for 1981, you're talking about the 80s. So these are some of the best movies you'll see in your entire life in the 80s. So you can't really blame that. This is like, they just went over the top. They treated Superman like the comic book and the TV show. I mean, you watch the animated series from like the 50s, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't know exactly when those were, but like the campiness, they basically put that into the movie. Even like the rollerblade, you know, the guy that's skating backwards just going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, it's just so ridiculous.
That's
like,
our newest soundbite.
Like, yeah, whoa, whoa. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, it was just over the top to where that's where I would really get frustrated. I'd be like, what are we doing here? But still, I love watching Superman fly. I think that Christopher Reeves does a bang-up job. He's an amazing Clark Kent. He's so...
I agree with that.
He is so... he's got these two characters so well done to where Lois even says to him in the movie, she's like, Clark, Superman, I don't even know what to call you. And it's confusing, isn't it? And he says, it's not confusing to me. And I'm like, God, he's a good Superman. And he saves the movie because of that. But other, like, you look at the 70% it has a problem with, that's a reason I rate this thing at a 2.9.
Whoa.
Ended up going a little higher.
In fairness, this came out in 1981. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, came out in 1981.
Same year.
Same year.
I mean,
Like,
so
really?
can we just forget about the blame the time situation?
I
Like,
think-
there's just some problems here. Like, imagine if you could have got, I mean, Spielberg, I guess, if he would have done Superman, is what we're talking about.
True.
That would have been pretty badass, I bet. All right, Superman 2. There it is. Full review, rating. We'll be doing 3 and 4 at some point, and you can find all this along with other DC titles, animated, and all across the DC universe at mostlysuperheroes.com/DCU. And then I did promise you guys, you know, just a little bit. We're going to include this article in our description today. We have to dive deep in it. But there is some more behind the scenes of Richard Donner versus Richard, the one that did this
Lester.
one. Lester, yes. Good job, Andy. And they basically that there's a cut that Richard Donner worked on that basically went through what the Snyder Cut went through, of release the Donner Cut.
Oh, gosh.
And it says that it was released 26 years later, because he worked. It was basically a very similar situation where Donner had worked on maybe 50 or 60% of the movie, and then had to exit for some reason. So I don't really know much about it, but I just thought it was interesting that something in a DC property had a similar item. Like I said, we don't need to get into it today. Just wanted to let you know that we had talked about Richard Donner on earlier episodes, and he passed away this year. He was involved in Superman 2, and there's a whole story behind it. So thanks to Collider for the article. We'll have that in today's episode description. And again, go to mostlysuperheroes.com/DCU to see what we got going on in the DC universe.
You can buy Superman 2, the Donner cut, on Amazon for $4.25 or used for $2.
Used.
Wow.
So it's a DVD.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna
let's queue up the black and white version next as well, just to get the whole trilogy out there.
The black and white version. I like that. So maybe we'll have to watch the Donner cut.
Oh man, are we throwing that on the DC?
We'll put it on the maybe list. We're obviously feeling like this movie was just okay. We'll see how Superman 3 goes. You guys are we're gonna be struggling through those, but I think that they're a lot of fun to talk about. So we'll still.
I
get
think
them.
they are too.
Yeah, bad movies are fun to talk about usually because there's funny stuff. So
Like the Bruce Willis movie we just talked about.
to be debated. All right, let's talk about what's coming up. Bashing Bruce Willis movie. Come on. It was good. What's it called? I already forgot. Out of Death. I don't even get the title, honestly. All right, what's coming up on the show? We got a lot of things happening. Talked about it. I don't know if it was during Patreon or during the show. Losing track at this point, but superhero stuff is about to just take off again. MCU hasn't really given us a break, and What If comes out this
Next
week. Yeah, this week.
Week
If you're
from
listening,
today.
a week from today, we're recording,
On
and if
Wednesday.
you're listening on Monday, this is 2
days.
days. Disney Plus, What If, other stuff coming to Shang-Chi September 3rd, and then November 5th will be the Eternals. But talking about What If, yes, had an article shared with us in the Mostly Superhero Squad by, of course, our boy Scott. Came from IGN. It's confirmed coming out of them that What If head writer A.C. Bradley confirmed to IGN the events of What If are canon. It's part of the MCU multiverse. The multiverse is here. It is real, and it is absolutely fantastic, people. Interesting. What does this mean? It basically means the stories that you see could
Are
have
happening on a different timeline?
They're
currently?
happening. These aren't just like dreams in someone's head. And, if it is, either way, this is MCU canon. What you're going to see in this show will be different versions of characters you've known, but it's going to play a role in the overarching MCU. And this has been something we've been wondering about. So, Scott, thanks for tracking down that article for us. August 11th, Disney Plus. I personally am so excited for this one. I cannot wait to see an animated MCU show. I can't believe it.
It's just gonna hit different, I think.
I think so too. And I think I saw like they're about 20 or 30 minutes. Probably, I think it was 30 minutes. So in my head, I was thinking that's a 20-minute episode probably.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
I think it's going to put my mind in a pretzel. I really do.
Yeah.
Like seeing different characters do different things. Like this really happened on a different timeline because the multiverse.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be.
Supposedly Chadwick Boseman is in multiple episodes. That's
Multiple
great
episodes.
to hear.
Yeah, like 3 or 4, I think. There's
Yeah.
10 episodes of this thing.
I really wonder why they didn't ask everybody to voice
Yeah,
their character.
I
that
saw
was
that.
someone from Marvel spoke on that. They said the quote was something. I'm paraphrasing, of course. I can't even name who it was. It
Dave
was
Bautista.
Dave Bautista said that he was never asked
Yeah.
to play Drax. And then I saw one of the writers said that when we were picking voice actors, we went with performance, not who was going to be the biggest name, and also not who sounds the most alike. So it probably came down to also just availability. But you didn't get Dave Bautista to voice this.
Not even.
And
a call.
who is going to do it? And is he going to sound like the movie version? Because that you would think so. It's the MCU.
Very weird.
Very, very weird.
Still gonna watch it.
Still gonna watch
Still
it.
gonna talk
Gonna
about
get
it.
different versions of Doctor Strange. You got Captain Britain. Like I said, T'Challa, he's in this thing. Killmonger. I mean, you got Tony Stark in this thing. Robert Downey Jr. did come in and voice this, I believe. And it's coming. Can't wait to talk about it. We'll be talking about, I don't know if we'll do like every episode, maybe a few at a time. I assume this will be a weekly release. I don't think we know that yet, but I assume, just with what they've done so far, we can probably think it'll be weekly. And then, yes, a lot of you guys know this, put out tweets. I was supposed to see an early screening of the Suicide Squad last week, and I didn't. I put it in Logan's letter, and it was just, I got to the movies, and we were about to walk in, and I just thought, Mike and Andy aren't here. I'm just gonna wait.
That's so nice of you.
Thank you.
God, that's not what you told me the other day, but that's so nice of you.
The nice version. The real version is, I guess I got there like too late and just sat at the bar too long drinking beers before, and there was a line to get in. But I'm telling you, it wasn't long enough to worry, and I was not exaggerating. So it was me and Carrie, a couple in front of us, a couple in front of them, just going in. There's a couple in front of them went in, and then they go, "We're full." There's literally just 4 of us left, and. He was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, we oversold tickets. It was a screening. If you're a screening pro, you know that they do this. They have more tickets. But this was the smallest screening crowd I'd ever seen. It was a theater I know well, and I thought we were fine. But we know what we did. We grabbed the popcorn. We grabbed more beers. We got chicken tenders, and we went to the Take 5 in the Marcus and the Ronnie's. Well, and that wasn't Ronnie's. We were at a different one. We were at Ronnie's for that one. Ronnie's in South County. So it was a great night, fun little dinner. We laughed about it immediately, but I was more just like, you know how many people I told I was seeing this? I was like, I looked Andy in the eye and basically lied to his face. But all that means is we'll watch it this week. By the time you listen to this, I would assume we've probably already seen it. Either way, you can plan on a review coming, I would say next week. You think we can all three see this before we record?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, cool.
I like how it says only in cinemas, and I'm literally going to watch it on Thursday, August 5th at 7 Central.
So clear this up for us. What's going on with this release of James Gunn, The Suicide Squad?
An article said it releases August 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern, because that's when it releases theatrically in the United States, and it's going to be on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, I think you can just watch it.
But it's the same, which is like, that's technically like the same day as the. Yeah. So it's all happened the same time.
Same day.
Okay, so we were wrong, Andy. I think we had thought it was going to be like theatrical release one day, and then.
But I think HBO's big thing are same day premieres.
Yeah,
like they say that, like same day, like they have a category on HBO that says same day premieres.
Yeah, and they've doubled down on it. They're going to do.
It's only like Dune.
Dune,
be on there.
Wonder Woman was like that. Yeah. Christmas time.
Space Jam.
And we last week we talked about this, Mike. I was interested to hear your thoughts on it. That HBO Max announced at San Diego Comic-Con that they're going to release 10 movies in 2022 that are only HBO Max, no theaters.
I like it.
Tell me your thoughts on it.
I like it because I don't have to leave my house, and I already have HBO.
You're all good.
Yeah. And are they going to be blockbusters? Probably not. They'll probably be like Bruce Willis movies that you watch, but
that's true because
he goes there again.
Well, they're only picking 10, right? So you're probably right. And I think one of them was going to be like Batgirl.
Yeah, perfect. I don't have to pay. I want to see Batgirl, but I don't want to pay to see Batgirl.
But it's a test, right? They're testing this concept. So what if a movie came out that you were eccentric about, that you really loved, like you were just so excited,
like the Batman?
What if it was the Batman and it was only HBO Max and it wasn't in theaters? How does that make you feel?
I think you get a little bit taken away from it, but I'll be the bigger person that's in charge of my own money, and I'll be like, all right, I guess I'll watch it at home.
But I guess, like, are you sad you don't get to see that movie in theaters?
I would say a little bit. It's not going to throw me into like a spiral. I'm not going to Christopher Nolan and denounce all of streaming platforms and then sell my soul to go back to streaming platforms.
Well, because the three of us all live pretty much in the middle, and we're not too extreme one way or the other. We're just thinking about, I just thought that it's, I don't know, I don't think I really like it in the big picture. Well, because they're taking away the big picture. Putting it on the TV.
It's true.
In general, it's like you're killing the spirit of the people that want to be there most.
But I think we talked about it. They're cutting out the middleman, and they don't have to pay more people.
Right. And then you get into what are the movies, and what's it mean to go to the movies?
I think it's an experience.
And then you could also, what's gonna really buy some stock, guys, in home theater systems. I bet this is gonna be blowing up. Because now you're going to be doing outdoor theaters at your own house. Because how hard is it to get a projector set up? And then you
just got a projector in the mail today.
You did?
Yeah,
I knew it. This is the trending, right? This is what's happening. Whatever company's making projectors, you should go buy stock on it. But this is what I'm saying though. Maybe this is a cool trend that's happening. You do an event in your backyard that's like, come watch the Suicide Squad at my house.
But I see what you're saying because the movies are a pastime. They've been around since the early 1900s. Like.
Well, you said
it's an event.
You said it yourself. If the Batman wasn't available in theaters, you'd be a little sad.
I would be a little sad.
Like when one of your favorite things of all time came out, you felt a little sad.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, I feel like it's counterintuitive.
But then I'd turn the movie on and I'd be like, that was a great movie. I'm great with it.
Yeah.
Will we have had a better time seeing the Snyder Cut in theaters?
That one
Probably.
Maybe not because it was 4 hours.
And yeah, you took a lot of intermissions.
I did. Like an hour break. I cut it I really cut it up in hours.
All right.
Something. I get what you're saying. I do have friends that go to the movies
For their stuff.
for their everything. Yeah.
For-
they
well,
love
I love it.
They love the experience.
Yeah, I
they
do.
love the sound. They love everything.
Me.
Like for me, I guess I'm just a different person. I couldn't tell you the last time I went to the movies
Yeah.
in person.
I mean, I usually would go by myself though. Like I didn't even need people to go with me. I just liked the sound, the popcorn. But now you're getting to this new place where it's like I do kind of excited thinking about having like an event yourself. Like again, like doing like a home theater. You got a projector? You got a nice backyard.
We'll be having parties.
But think about like
Are we? I mean, we're invited, right?
Oh, duh.
But think about like Thursday, we get to watch the Suicide Squad at home.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go see it in
After work.
theaters. I'm gonna go see it this weekend in
See,
theaters. Probably.
that's where the debate. I'm gonna be having this debate because I know that I have a really busy week. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
stream this.
Yeah.
But then like, do I then pay to see it a second time in theaters? I don't think I will.
We could go see it on $5 movie night Tuesday.
Well, yeah. Oh, I'd be down for that for sure.
It'd be fun to like if we all watch it together. It's like the biggest DC movie to come out since Wonder Woman.
It's got 96 right now on Rotten Tomatoes, so,
So
we're
it's-
down a tad.
I mean, this is crazy high.
96 is very high.
James Gunn,
James Gunn, man.
St.
Okay.
Louis.
Yeah, we've heard nothing. We talked about it last week.
our biggest fan.
It's our biggest fan. It's blowing up. People are saying it's great. The Suicide Squad, James Gunn. Let's see how he does. We'll be watching it. We'll be talking about it, and we're also going to keep a pulse on the streaming versus box. What do you call that? I guess it's like streaming
Yeah.
release and it's still box office.
Yeah.
Right.
I like it.
Because we're gonna have to see what happens here. The industry is we're living during this shift right now, so we're gonna keep our pulse on it. We're gonna keep you apprised, and we're gonna let you know how we feel about it as we talk about it. All right, folks, it's all happening at mostlysuperheroes.com. Thanks for listening. You can check out the schedule there. New episodes on Monday, Sunday on Patreon. More people coming to join us on the Patreon group, getting those early episodes, bonus episodes, a bonus RSS feed, ad-free episodes, all that kind of stuff. And you can also find us on all the social channels, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let's do a little roundtable here, boys. This was a fun episode, jam-packed. We talked about, I feel like, 15, 16-plus titles and really squeezed it in. Andy, how'd you do today?
My mind's a pretzel, like Mike just said, but I'm glad that we have grown some brain cells back
Mhm.
after the bachelor party a few weeks ago.
Barely.
Yeah, barely, but I can formulate sentences a lot better today. But it's nice to have three of us here together back again.
Back again.
All three.
Yeah, we were
Superstars.
missing one, and now we're whole again. PC Mike, good to have you back, dude.
It's great to be back. This was fun.
Did you miss us?
I did. I missed this.
Likewise.
Like it just rolls with three.
Yeah, it does. And I feel like,
It's like a chair. A chair can stand up on two legs, like
Uh-huh.
a stool.
yeah.
You need that third to just level it up.
Oh, yeah. I think we've all been professional third wheels at certain points in
Mhm.
our lives. And, yeah, we got the trifecta here, man. We're going to also be bringing in more guests. Been talking to some people lately, local and not, that have been interested in getting on the pod. So whether that's a Logan's Heroes segment or maybe we do another foursome like we've done in the past. You know, we've remoted people in via Zoom, bring them right here on the screen, right here in the studio, and we'll just keep on doing it, man. I'm having too much fun.
Or we need people to call the studio line. Just let us put your voice on at least.
754 call log. That's 225-5564. Andy's totally right, man. Do you want to be on the show? You want to like tell your friends that you're on a really cool podcast that's just like one of the best podcasts probably you've ever heard? You could get your voice on that. Then you go to work and you could have like a story to tell to your coworkers. Like
Good-
you always need a good story.
Little bucket list thing.
Yeah.
Like when we first did the podcast for Andy.
Oh yeah.
We were gonna say it. You want to tell them?
Yes.
Go ahead.
1 year ago today, my first appearance.
Wow,
Season 1, episode 3.
dude. Season 1, episode 3. Go check it out. Okay, I wonder what it's like. Who
I
knows?
mean,
It's probably ridiculous.
You know what? I'll listen to it on the way home because I just remember like seeing you post about Mostly Superheroes on Facebook, and I was like, that's so cool. Like, I never thought in a million years that I would ever be a part of it, but I was like, I just texted you one day. I was like, dude, I listened to your first 2 episodes. It's like, that's so cool. And you just were like, oh, come on. And I was like, what?
And now look,
'Cause
you-
at the
you
time-
and now you can barely go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like you can barely get out of your house. I bet.
Swamp.
At the time, like
Swamp, cameras.
we didn't know each other that well, but
No,
like just
no.
to think about what has happened in the
We
year.
were like on a
even-
track to be like good friends, like, but we didn't see each other that much, and now we see each other every week for about a year.
It's great.
And you're not tired of me yet,
No,
or
not,
the studio.
not yet. Never. I like I said earlier, we're never going back to Zoom. So I don't care how many more pandemics we have. I'm coming over here.
Yeah, if it's just the three of us, you know what I'll do? We'll go big time and we'll get tests and all. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. No, you're ingrained in the show now 1 year, so that means Mike, yours is coming up probably.
I think maybe next week or the week after.
It's something
4
like
or
that.
5. I'd have to go back and.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check this out.
Moving and grooving, guys. I wouldn't want to be here with anybody else. You guys are show up every single week, and I feel like we just have a good time. So that's what it's really all about. At the end of the day, is seeing how we feel about this stuff, and for me, it's a big social experiment. So I hope you guys are along for the ride.
Clearly, we are.
Forever.
All right. Well, I guess that means I get to hold on to the Keaton Batman for until it's
you're
done.
done. Until we're done.
And that.
And the belt,
I
and we got
the
the belt too. 2 gifts right off the bat. You got the WWE belt, the Keaton cardboard cutout. We're not going anywhere, folks. You can hear us. We're having too much fun. Go subscribe at mostlysuperheroes.com. Tell a friend. Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on Facebook. Subscribe where you get podcasts. And we'll see you next week. Take it easy.